airwaves, Gabriel. We have a lot to go over. We have the Champions League final, Real Madrid and Dortmund. Gareth Bale, should he be considered a top 10 or a top five British soccer player of all time? Probably not, but we'll discuss that. But moreover, he had some interesting things to say about Real Madrid and the upcoming match. Then Crystal Palace has a little bit going on, a little bit to digest there, a little bit to discuss there. And Jose Mourinho is with Fenerbahce. What's a realistic expectation? How far can he go with that club? And we are hopefully going to have Wopicho here soon. But in the meantime, here we are. In terms of Jose Mourinho and Fenerbahce. Now, he has bragged, and I think it's pretty accurate and I think it's fair. He has said multiple times that he deserves credit for pulling off what he did with Porto. And I think that's more than fair. And we're going to see right now, this may or may not go well. We're going to see if Wopicho can join us and hear us. Wopicho, can you hear me? Hey, Wopicho,
Yes,
can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now clearly.
Oh, okay, great, great. So
Every,
what do you think is reasonable for Jose Mourinho, and Fenerbahce? Now they could still qualify for Champions League, but that's a long shot. They have to get through qualifying. Regardless, do you see them making a run in any European competition this upcoming season?
yeah, I think they have a chance. Jose Mourinho is one of the best managers in the world, so I bet that he will have an impact on them and he's going to take them far because you know he is a quality manager overall. He's a world class manager. I believe they have a chance if they have him to have a great run in Europe this coming season.
Yeah, love that. And I think with the chosen one, you always stand a chance. He has a way of getting the most out of his team. The issue comes when they have success that he butts heads with the ownership and everyone else in charge, and sometimes the star players. But I think this is a really good fit. This is a Fenerbahce team that has quality on it. I still don't like them to make the Champions League. I think they're going to contend most likely. I don't see them making it to the Champions League. I think in conference or EuroLeague, but that's how I see this team in Europa League. But how do you see it, Wopicho?
Yeah, still that's where I see them because to compete in Champions League, even if you have a quality coach. Mourinho did it once with FC Porto, but I don't think he can do it again with Fenerbahce because the level of Fenerbahce are different. And right now to compete, you have to have a financial background which is really good, and I don't think Fenerbahce has that. They don't have a financial backup that can take them where maybe other teams that are competing in the Champions League are. Maybe them to finish in a round of 16. It's going to be a miracle. But I see them competing in Europa League, most likely in the Conference League. And, he's the first manager to win the Conference League, and I bet that he might come again in the Conference League and win it again this coming season.
Yeah, and I think that's more than fair, and I think that would be good for them. I and Just so you know, Wopicho, your audio is a little muffled over there, but we'll make do. We'll make do. Let's move on to something a little more prevalent, something a little more immediate with Gareth Bale. Now, he predicted that, and we'll touch on our predictions and how we see the Real Madrid Dortmund game playing out in a little bit. But he said that he sees Real Madrid winning 3-0. And that's not really what I want to focus on here. Because he said this, he came out and he said Real Madrid has a certain aura to them. I think that's more than fair. And again, we'll speak on that in a moment. But this then raised the question, and they sent a reporter around in Great Britain. Is Gareth Bale, and should Gareth Bale be considered a top five British soccer player of all time? I know where I stand on it, but you personally, how do you view this?
Definitely, he's in the top five. I think he can easily be among the greatest five British players of all time. Like his quality was just really up there. To me, when he was at Madrid, I think with him and Ronaldo, like the way they were playing, to me, he's in the top five best British players of all time. Yeah, I see him there. I don't know about you, but I think he's there.
No. Yeah, so you have him a little higher than I do. I mean, top five talent for sure. But for me, it's a question of longevity and just the injury history is too much to overlook, in my opinion. And he did get Wales through to the World Cup, so that's a huge accomplishment. But I mean, just the injury history is too much about the story of Gareth Bale. And let's be real, we didn't really get to see him elevate a team or be the unquestioned main player on a winning team like how we know Cristiano Ronaldo was, for example. So a top five young prospect at one point of all time, yes. But then to say a top five British player, that's a stretch too far for me. I mean, I would put still Ryan Giggs over him. I'd put Paul Scholes. I'd put Andy Cole. I would put Frank Lampard. I'd put John Terry. Uh, that's just off the top of my head of people. Steve Gerrard. Um, that's just players off the top of my head who are British who I would put above Gareth Bale. And again, it's for me, it's about the totality of the career, not just that they were really good, promising. And for me, that's the difference. Or do you have any pushback to anything I just said?
Yeah, I'm questioning what belongs because again, as I told you, yeah, these were great players. But at the end of the day, they played with quality players. You know, you could add David Beckham to that list. Yeah, but again, the other thing, what Bale achieved as a player is very significant. You can't compare him with Frank Lampard, like what he has achieved as a player on club level. You cannot compare him with these other players you just mentioned on the list because I believe he's really high there as a player. He has managed to win the Champions League several times. He has managed to win the La Liga several times. He came back to Tottenham. He put them on a high place also. So, and as we've talked about it, he put Wales on the world, which was really great. You know, and he was just the only star player in the team. Let's not compare him to these other players like Lampard, Gerrard, Beckham, or Johnson. They played with stars. They had like fellow superstars who know what they were doing. And Bale was like the only main man in world. So to me, he's up there. He's one of the top five. I think he can easily be the top three of British football, like all-time football listing. To me, he's like in the top three right now because he's long. Yeah, he has not been there for a long time, but what he did in the short period of time was incredible. He's a very incredible player, incredible talent, speed, and everything is just amazing. And that goal that he scored against Barcelona, the one he ran outside the field, and just stuck the ball till the air from the end of his goal to the end of Barcelona's goal and scored a goal. That is just history in the making. You know, that is one of the best goals, like the best run of the goal of all time. And to me, you say that he's not there, but to me, he's there because remember, he played alone in a team that didn't have star power, but these players like Lampard, Gerrard, you mentioned John Terry, yeah, they played, they were really nice. but they played in star-studded squad. So yeah, they were really good. But to me, Bell is just up there. He's really nice. He's a player that I look up and I say, wow, he's done it.
Yeah, so when you listen back to this, Picho, you're gonna see I'm having a hard time hearing you at all. So I'm getting bits and pieces of what you're saying. I think what you're more or less saying is that he had a lot of great moments, and for sure his high points were higher than most. I'll give you that. But the longevity argument, there's no discussion in my opinion. You can't be a top anything of all time if you were gone, if you were missing for large parts of your career, in my opinion. So that's why personally I don't have Gareth Bale as a top 5 player, British player of all time. I mean, think of all the greats. I mean, and even if we stick with just modern soccer, okay, we don't have to go back to like a Gary Lineker if we don't want to. Fine. Let's stick with just modern soccer. I would put Harry Kane over Gareth Bale. Does Gareth Bale more is he a better talent? Does he have more wow moments? Yes. But that's what's going to stick out to you. If you're building a team, if you are choosing for longevity, Harry Kane gets the job done and it's more boring. I'll give you that. But I think people when they and as they should, credit to Gareth Bale, his wow moments were really spectacular. He does have some of the great goals of all time in big moments, but those were moments. And that's the difference for me. If you want to be a top 5, if you want to be a top 5 player, who's there for 32 games, consistently producing season after season after season? Who's there available for the national team for each campaign? And with Gareth
Yeah,
Bale, that just wasn't the case at all.
okay, you're right. But if you say you put Hurricane there, like it's no big deal. Hurricane is one of the best players like to have. But when you're looking at how these players have performed, like how they have made it to the top, you also look at what they have won. I mentioned who beat Bell in winning trophies.
Well, Picho, I have no idea what you're saying, my guy, and it's nothing to do with the background noise. It has everything to do with whatever you're recording on today. Uh, so your background noise is fine. I just can't hear what you're saying. I know you're offering some type of pushback. Try again, but I cannot hear anything you're saying. I just know that you're disagreeing with me somehow.
You know,
That's better. Go ahead.
can you
What
hear
was
me
your point?
clearly now?
Yeah, it's a little better. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm like, Gareth Bale when you compare to these other players, Gareth Bale, like the titles he has won is much more than these other players, and I think that is what matters the most. He has not been there for a long period of time, but what he has produced, he has helped his team win champions in titles which are really important, and that I think that is one of the most important things when you're making a team. You'd say that you'd say yeah, Hurricane is better than him, or maybe Gerard or Frank Lampard. But when you look at what these players produced, what these players won during their longevity, you cannot compare like what Gareth Bale has won in the period he has been in football.
Okay, and I beg you to listen back to this, Picho, so you can hear what I'm trying to listen to. Um, so you and me are just gonna disagree on this. Again, his high points were higher than all the players I mentioned. I'll give you that. But the sustainability, the long term success isn't there for me to consider him top 5. That's just how I view it. And I'm more of a guy with I'd rather go with the consistent product over the course of however many games between all the competitions. I'd rather go with that versus those special wow moments. Um, if I'm building a team, that's how I personally am. But Hopefully we can hear you on this next segment here. Real Madrid Dortmund, it's here, and ah, there's a lot that we could say about this game specifically. I mean, I think everyone, I think everyone is expecting Real Madrid to win. What's the path to victory for Dortmund?
Oh, well, where Dortmund has come from has been really tough, Them beating Atletico and PSG, no one expected that. No one expected them to go through, excuse me, to go through Atletico and PSG. So I don't think that we can surely say that Madrid are going to win this. I believe that Dortmund also has a chance. They have a chance. This is a chance. I know bookmakers they have said Madrid. They are giving in. They are saying Madrid is going to win, but I think Dortmund also has a big chance here. It's a 50-50. You know, they can come and pull it off and just win the title. They, you know, as fans of football, I know every fan knows that Madrid will win, but they really want McCoy to leave Dortmund with the trophy, and this is one of the major trophies. So it's really going to be cool to see McCoy leaving the trophy. This is a competition that Madrid has dominated since it started, and it's going to be real to see. Right now, we see them as winners, but as I always say, you never know what football produces.
Hmm.
They may be a magical moment where they are going to win this, and they make it. They make a superb, Dortmund make a superb win that they take the trophy back home, which is going to be really, very nice to see. And I'm hoping to see that tomorrow.
No, absolutely. And I think a lot of people, if your club isn't in the Champions League final, a lot of people wouldn't mind seeing Dortmund win because it would be something of a surprise. And especially with Marco Reus, I think people wouldn't mind that. Mats Hummels, who knows how much longer he can play at this level, regardless of who it's for. So there is a path, and it's I think Marco Reus being spectacular and finding those moments to take advantage of. But I mean, and this is a good Dortmund team. Can they match up with Real Madrid in terms of possession and quality on the soccer ball? Yes, but the overall talent obviously favors Real Madrid. Uh but you made a good case. You made a good case for how Dortmund could win. And so would it be a complete shock? No. But realistically, I think that's why most people are expecting Real Madrid to win. I think it'll do you think it'll be a good game then? And if so, what's about how you expect this game to actually go?
Okay, my expectation is I think Dortmund might Madrid might win 3 goals, like 2 goals and above. I'm talking about a 2-0 win or a 3-1 win. But as it has gone, Dortmund has been resilient. They came from behind against Atletico and they won the game. And also PSG, when everyone thought that PSG is the quality team against them, that it was going to win against them, they surprised us and they beat PSG both home and away. So this game, if you're just looking at the quality of everything, Madrid has everything. Like they are the favorite winners, like they're saying. If it's for them to win, this is like their game to win. But you don't know what magic Dortmund can
Hmm.
come and produce on the pitch. I believe it's tough for them, but they are going to make it hard for Madrid just to take the trophy. Yeah, and the surprise, you never know. They might be the one that Madrid will have to give a hard time. because it's going to be a pretty hard game from both sides, and I believe there is also quality with the Dortmund, but as
Ah, you broke up there, but I really like what you're saying there, and
final and
hopefully you can still
as
hear me.
history goes, they have been winning as long as yeah. Can
Oh,
you
you
repeat
broke
what
up
you
there for a
said?
second, but go ahead, finish your thought. Finish your thought.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
as
Finish your thought.
history says, Madrid has been performing like at the highest level, and each time they can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, finish your thought.
I'm, I'm like, Madrid has been every time they like when you look at win again, they have to win the Champions League. They have interview they are saying it is just like for it to take, but I'm not saying that it is going to be easy for them to take. It will be really hard for them to take because I know
Hmm.
Dortmund is going to come and they hard time for Madrid to just take it, or Madrid will be the one having a hard time to take the trophy because when you look at both sides here, Madrid has all the star players, but Dortmund also has quality in their squad. So at the end
Yeah,
of the day, I believe that it's going to be both sides have the potential to take the Champions League.
yeah, and right, it's not apples to apples, but luckily the forwards and the attacking players for Dortmund don't have to play the attacking players for Real Madrid. And so I think there's plenty of opportunity for Adeyemi, Fulcrum, and Sancho to be able to have moments and to have create opportunities against the Real Madrid defense. So that's 100% possible. So I won't be surprised if this ends up being decided by penalties, Will Picho. I won't be. And I also like what you were
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
in terms. I also like what you were saying
I
in
was
terms
just
of
agreeing with you. I
like
was agreeing with you.
what? What's up? What?
So I was just agreeing with you. I was just agreeing with you. I'm like, yeah, it might go
Oh,
to penalties. I was agreeing with you.
yeah. There's quality on both sides, and I like kind of what you were saying. I don't know if this is exactly what you were saying, but Dortmund is good, and we know that they're good because they got here. Even if you viewed the path of Real Madrid was harder, so Dortmund 100% deserves to be there, and they showed that they possess that quality. So should Real Madrid be favored to win? Yes, but Dortmund making this a game, making this interesting, and possibly winning shouldn't be considered a complete shock. But let's move on. Real Madrid. I mean, come on, well, Picho. 2014, 2015, 2016. 2019, 2018, I mean 2022, possibly 2024. This Real Madrid team is good, and next year they're going to play with Kylian Mbappe and with Endrick, the youngster out of Palmeiras. I've watched a little bit of Palmeiras this year just because of Endrick. I mean, the rich keep getting richer. This is a Real Madrid team that could be better next year, and they're already in the finals. I don't know. How do you see not just this year, this upcoming season, but for seasons to come? I mean, it's hard not if you have to pick one team because and before I'll make my final point here. Real Madrid is a team where almost it looks like they have a brighter future. Where if you look at other clubs like Bayern, like Man City, especially Barcelona, the immediate future right now at least looks bleak. Right? They all have big question marks. And so Real Madrid looks like they're going to be fine for years to come. Or am I misreading this, Will Picho? Oh, I mean, I didn't think my point was that good to stun you into silence, but if it was, then I guess so. Can you hear me now?
I was not picking you up well. I wasn't picking you up well, but
Yeah, just how do you see this Real Madrid team next year?
yeah, I think next season Kylian Mbappe is the best player in the world right now. So Madrid having Kylian Mbappe in the team is going to be crazy. Like they they are going to be up there. You know, adding Endrick is the young prospect is going to start them. I mean, they are going to. And then they are just trying to give the Galacticos again. You know, I believe next season is going to be their season. They might win a treble next season. You know, they've never done it in their history. I believe next year is the year that they come and they win the treble for this team that they are trying to form. And you know, there is also Alexander Arnold, who is also one of the players they want to get. So next year for Madrid is going to be really crazy. Like you look at the players they're trying to get from the transfers, they are going to be like to be Guardiola's team by far, you know, because they are bringing in quality and they have a quality manager also. So if you put the quality players they have as a quality manager, I think we expect them to have like a treble to win everything in Europe next season. That's what I see them. I see them as this no one is going to be near them.
Oh, absolutely. And then the final topic for today, Crystal Palace. You know, they are in talks to get to sign Bellingham. I don't know if you know this, Wopicho. Crystal Palace is in talks to sign Bellingham. No, not Jude Bellingham, Joe Bellingham, his younger brother. And this is going to be the priority. Uh, Crystal Palace, a little bit of a dark horse potentially, but that's not what I want to focus on. I just wanted to make the silly Bellingham joke there. Owen Goodman reportedly went to the Nigerian Football Federation president to say that he will not be playing for England, that he will instead be trying to keep clean sheets for Nigeria. And this is someone who on the under, I believe it was either under 21s. I want to say it was under 18s. I believe it was under 18s. He played for England. And if you recall the last if you recall the last call up around October last year, he said no to Nigeria. But now it looks like he's had a change of heart, change of mind, and he will be committing himself to the senior national team for Nigeria. I don't know if you had a chance to look at this story for with Owen Goodman, but if so, go ahead, comment on that, and if not, any other important African soccer updates.
Yeah, I don't think that I don't think that Joe Bellingham like has the same qualities that Jude Bellingham. You know, you say it is Mbappe's brother. It's like yeah, they are both players, but the quality is different. You know, I think Crystal Palace just wants to have that Bellingham in their squad. Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, you know, if you have a Bellingham and someone is new to soccer, it's like, hey, Bellingham is might bring in more people to want to watch Crystal Palace and want to watch how Bellingham plays. Overall, you never know. He might even be better than Jude Bellingham because you know. I think what makes Jude Bellingham like where he is right now is his discipline because he's a very disciplined player. At a very young age, but he's very disciplined. He knows what to do on and off the pitch. And if you bring Joe Bellingham to the picture, he has the same discipline. I think he can be like one of the best players in the and him to play in the Premier League with the Crystal Palace. I think by the season we are going to see what he can produce and what he can't produce. So
Yeah.
uh, just can't wait to see him on the pitch. That's the main thing, you know. When you see him, because I have not seen him play. I always see him with his brother. I've not seen him play, but but if he comes to the Premier League and he produces what his brother is trying to produce in Real Madrid, I think like let's say the way himself Bellingham brothers are like best. But until then, right, we just know that Crystal Palace is going to sign a Bellingham, and he
Yeah,
can't wait to see Joe Bellingham on the pitch. That's what I
yeah.
can say. Yeah.
No,
And
absolutely, absolutely.
you say about him going to Nigeria, like accepting Nigeria.
Yeah, he visited the Nigerian Football Federation president. He went there in person to say that he would only play for Nigeria from now on.
Oh, so we have a Bellingham in Nigeria. It's going to be
No,
interesting to
no, no,
see.
no.
It's going to be interesting to see Nigeria versus England. We see the Bellingham brothers versus each other. It's really going to be sweet because that's
Wait,
going
no,
to be
no,
a big
no.
match.
Wopicho. Owen
Yeah, yeah.
Goodman is said this, not the Bellingham brother. Owen Goodman, the goalkeeper for Crystal Palace.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
that's nice because I haven't heard of that. But so Owen Goodman is switching to Nigeria.
Yes, yes.
Can't wait to see him
Not
because
Bellingham.
Nigeria, guilty are not relevant. Because again, Nigeria is one of the teams in Africa that's trying to like create a talented national squad that they want to come back in the next 2 years and win the AFCON and maybe do what no athlete like do what everyone wants in Africa. They want the same World Cup. They just want to have a long one in the World Cup and the AFCON. I like to dominate in Africa. That's what they want to do, and they're like doing that because they are really trying to bring in talented players. I watched a game that they played recently, and they have quality because they also have a young manager who's experienced and is going to do something. So we can't wait to see the Crystal Palace number one coming to play for Nigeria. It's really good news to hear that.
Yo, 100%. Well, Picho, we have to get out of here. Appreciate your time this morning. This was fun. We disagreed on Gareth Bale, and we all agreed that Bellingham is the best Crystal Palace player. So this was awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Check us out, curiousportspulse.com. Anything else that you want to plug before we get out of here?
Yeah, it is that tomorrow people can check us out in the morning. We're going to have a footy show, have some interesting guests on the show. So make sure you check us out tomorrow and see you tomorrow then.